Welcome back. 3 more international schools will open in Hong Kong. Now, they'll provide more than 1,000 places starting from the next academic year. The Education Bureau is allocating 3 disused or soon-to-be vacant school buildings to the sponsoring bodies. Evelina Leung reports.
The International Montessori School is going to transform a disused school building in Stanley into a brand new international school.
We're just ecstatic. We have 800 children on our wait list, and historically we have had to turn away 3/4 of the children who have applied to our school simply because of lack of available spaces. I think every international primary school has the same difficulty.
It is one of the several school sponsoring bodies selected by the government to get a disused or soon-to-be vacant government school building. Another site is in Shau Kei Wan. Carmel School and Kellett School have been co-occupying the campus on a temporary basis. The government announced today the entire campus will now be permanently allocated to Carmel School. The third site in Lam Tin will be allocated to NAE Hong Kong. Meanwhile, a fourth site in Ping Shek is going through the approval process. There have been 34 applications from school sponsoring bodies since the government started discussing the plan last June. In deciding who should get the buildings, the government considers, for example, the quality of their teaching materials, organization and management, financial status, the curriculum, academic assessment and admission process. This school campus here in Shau Kei Wan, along with the other 2 campuses, are expected to provide an additional 1,700 international school places. Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying acknowledged that there aren't enough international school places in Hong Kong at a recent Boao Forum in Hainan, and that in turn may weaken Hong Kong's competitiveness in attracting talents from overseas. Education Chief Eddie Ng hopes this will help meet some of the rising demand for international school places in the territory. Evelina Leung, TVB News.
And still no breakthrough between striking dock workers and their employers after they held another meeting today. A unionist said the contractors mentioned a 7% pay rise, which is short of the 10 to 12% the workers want. Etienne Lammy-Smith has more.
Day 2 of the talks between striking dock workers and their employers with a focus on wages. Wong Chi-tak, who represents one of the contractors involved, hoped the workers would accept a smaller pay rise. He would not be drawn on whether the 10 to 12% increase demanded by the unions would be possible. But the workers are standing firm. Their spokesman, Ng Shu Ming, insists on at least $100 more per shift. The unions also want more days off and rest time, as well as a better working environment.
Of course, we cannot expect that the negotiation be finished in one day. But we believe very important that today we hope that the management side, the employer side, can come back to respond to our proposal, to our demand. So at least there's a starting point from each side.
What we need is really sincerity, display of goodwill, mutual understanding, and a spirit of compromise. After all, negotiation, consultation, matter of give and take.
The other 2 unions who were here yesterday have been invited by the government to attend more talks tomorrow. The Federation of Trade Unions has said it will attend, but the Federation of Hong Kong and Kowloon Labour Unions has yet to respond. Etienne Lammy-Smith, TVB News.
A temporary June 4th museum has been set up at City University ahead of the 23rd anniversary of the Tiananmen crackdown. Located inside the academic building of the university, exhibits include a joint statement published in local newspapers back in 1989 condemning the Beijing authorities for their role in the crackdown. Among the signatories, Leung Chun-ying, who became chief executive of the Hong Kong SAR last year. It's the 2nd year in a row the Hong Kong Alliance in support of patriotic democratic movements of China has set up a June 4th museum. It will remain open to public for free until July 15th. The group has been raising money for a permanent museum space and said today it still needs about $2 million. Toyota, Honda and Nissan are recalling more than 2 million vehicles globally for an identical airbag problem on the passenger side of the vehicle. Reports say the airbag's inflator may burst, sending plastic bits flying. They were all manufactured by the same Japanese firm, Takata. Toyota says it's received 5 reports of problems, but no injuries. Toyota models affected include Corolla, Tundra and Lexus SC cars built between November 2000 and March 2004. Honda models include the Civic, CR-V and Odyssey. The Nissan models are Cube, X-Trail and Maxima. The iconic Louvre Museum in Paris closed its doors yesterday after workers walked off the job in protest against what they say is a growing problem of pickpockets. Crowds of disappointed tourists gathered outside the museum and, unlike the Mona Lisa that they were not going to see, they weren't smiling. The museum normally attracts up to 30,000 visitors a day at this time of the year, with many of them on tight schedules. The one-day protest was organized by staff to draw attention to the pickpocketing problem. They say it hinders their ability to welcome visitors and protect the Louvre's collections. Louvre officials could not provide an exact figure for the number of pickpocketing victims, but admitted that it was a growing problem. Right, Chris, over to you for sports.
Thanks a lot, dear. And we begin with Champions League, and Barcelona and Bayern Munich are through to the Champions League semi-finals. Lionel Messi came to the Catalans' rescue last night, even though he wasn't top fit. Barcelona and Paris Saint-Germain battled it out at the Nou Camp after a 2-2 draw in the first leg of the quarter-finals. The visitors drew first blood 5 minutes after the break. Javier Pastor, the goal scorer. Messi, who strained a hamstring last week, came off the bench and to his team's rescue. He started the decisive move that Pedro Rodriguez finished off to put Barcelona into a sixth straight Final Four berth. Beckham came in as a late substitute for PSG, but the game stayed 1-1. 3-3 the aggregate score, and the Catalans advanced on away goals.
I've enjoyed the experience. I wouldn't have done it any other way, because looking back on my career, to have said that I've played with the players that I've played with and teams that I've played with, and also learned from the games from different countries, I'm proud of that.
In another match, Bayern Munich had no problems with Juventus. Mario Mandzukic and Claudio Pizarro scored for last year's defeated finalists in Turin. This one ended 2-0. The Germans won 4-0 on aggregate. Baseball and the defending World Series champs had an easy time at home yesterday. The San Francisco Giants scored early and often against the Colorado Rockies. Star catcher Buster Posey tripled home the game's first run in the bottom of the first innings. He did it again in the second innings. A run-scoring double made it 4-0. Giants lefty Barry Zito blanked the Rockies. He's now thrown 14 scoreless innings. San Francisco rolled 10-0.
And finally for tonight, an archaeological dig in central London has unearthed thousands of Roman artefacts dating back around 2,000 years. The site in London's City District has been so well preserved that experts have nicknamed it the Pompeii of the North, after the Roman city that was buried in volcanic ash in 79 AD. About 8,000 pieces have been discovered. Designs of cows, scribes and tablets for writing are among the items found, as well as pottery, shoes and a gladiator amulet. The excavation has also reportedly uncovered wooden structures dating back to around 40 AD. The 3-acre site is also home to the Temple of Mithras, discovered in the 1950s. Well, that looks exciting.
And that's the news.
Thanks for watching.
Good night.